What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Got a special guest here. I got my guy Matt. We just finished up hosting our event here at my place here in Scottsdale, and we wanted to do a quick recap of the weekend. Matt, thanks for jumping on.
Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man. You want to give us maybe a little bit of a rundown of who you are and kind of your role and things like that?
Yeah, so my name's Matt Ross. I am the client success manager here, which essentially means that I'm going to be with every single client, every step of the way, getting them the best results that they can. There's definitely a lot more ins and outs that go into that, but getting to be here this weekend and seeing all the clients in person is a completely different experience that I could have ever expected. And, it's one thing to connect with people over Zoom and connect with people to see their results, see their wins. But when you get to meet them face to face, shake their hand, look them in the eye, it's a whole different feeling. And I know we're going to dive deep into that, but it's something that I truly never expected. And to be able to be here in the way that this has come together is just special. That's all I can really say about it.
Yeah. No, I think it was crazy. Like I really didn't expect. I guess I just didn't know how much this really meant.
Mm-hmm.
And like at the beginning of the event, we have everyone get up and introduce themselves. They're telling their story, and you can just see how grateful they are. And I think it's really, really easy in the day-to-day when we're, trying to run the business and, grow and solve problems, that when you see the wins or people share wins on calls and things like that, you don't really realize the impact that you're truly having,
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think was like maybe the most impactful thing that you heard this weekend?
I'm not sure if it's necessarily one thing rather than a consistent message of it wasn't about the financial gain. Of we see every single day people posting wins. I've made this amount of money, whatever it is. But when everyone got up in there and shared their story, where they're at with their business, whether it's good or bad, what they're working on, what they're grateful for, it was the fact that their life is changing. And we see such a small part of it. It's like, oh, we're helping you with your business. Got it. Makes sense. But when we get to have real conversations with them and get to the point to where their families are better, they're happier at home, they're in better relationships, like people getting to be with their mother who is sick, like that is incredible.
Yeah. 100%. And I think after really reflecting on everything and kind of seeing like, okay, these people are in way better situations than they were before they joined our program. And like remote training, like making more money, things like that is just kind of the vehicle for them to really like kind of create their own dream life.
Yeah.
They
see life completely differently now. There are people that haven't made an extra dime, but the way that they see life now, there's more hope. They have a clearer vision for their life, and they're actually doing something worthwhile that gives them purpose to where they didn't have before.
100%. Sorry. I've had a long weekend. I've been talking a lot. I think what was really, really special, dude, was like when I first got up there and I was looking out at everybody and they were just looking up at me like, what is he going to say? And I was like, this is insane. Like, we just had a bunch of people that we met on the internet come here, stay in the place, trusted us enough, and like wanted to learn more and like wanted to be around other people. And that actually brings me to a really good point, dude. What did you think about the fact that so many people were just like congregating and helping each other and like supporting. Like, what did you think about that?
Before I came out here, I actually thought about what that was going to look like. And I didn't really know what was going to happen. Like, a lot of them are in the same sport, and it's very easy to communicate that. But when it comes to something like this, in the same way that we feel weird of like, these strangers really like are here, I figured that they were going to feel the same way. Like, we were just really in this guy's house right now and be very nervous, very shy, and very hesitant to interact. And it was honestly the opposite. Being able to see people sitting out here, you've got a conversation here, we're going over stuff on notepads and computers in there. There's like 5 different things going on, and forget the workshops for a second. That alone is not only networking, but invaluable information that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, 100%. Because obviously we had some great presentations, and dude, there were some value bombs dropped, from some people who were incredibly talented and outside of all these different things. But just seeing people have those conversations, make those connections, and feel like they're a part of something bigger than just, they go back to their hometown and, I hear like, yeah, I live in a bubble, and I tell people I, want to change lives on the internet, and they don't get it. And then they come here, and that's what everybody's trying to do. And I think, at least me personally, I was like, dude, we need to do these all the time.
I mean, even if we have these twice a year, once every quarter, I mean, there's no telling what this is going to turn into. And obviously there are a lot of people that didn't truly understand what this was going to be. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to regret missing the first one, but that's also going to show what the second one's going to be like. So, I mean, I guess for you, going from the start of this business, now we work together, what has this meant for you? Not only the fact that literal strangers were in your house, but seeing what you've built and the why behind it.
Yeah. I think first of all, like, I wouldn't really say that like I built this. I would say that I built the foundations, and then everyone else built it. And I'm just the one that maybe is, on camera or leading the charge per se, but like there was like 7 conversations going on, and I'm just sitting in the corner like, ain't nobody want to talk to me? Like, this is my event. What the fuck? You know what I mean? No, dude, it was so cool because, like, I mean, I've said this before, but like a year ago, I didn't know if anybody was going to believe me that like this was real, because I think only a select handful of people at the time were like, oh, okay, like online training actually works and stuff like that. And then now to kind of see it come to fruition and like actually develop real relationships with people. I know we've met before, obviously, but like just getting to meet all these people who, like shook my hand and were like, dude, thank you so much. Like, it's unbelievable to know that I have that impact. And I think at this moment in time, it's like, dude, it's not about me. Like, maybe I'm the one on the camera, but like, I want to continue to build this community together and grow something really, really special. And like, I never want it to be about me and like my accomplishments. I want it to be about what we're doing together, No,
that makes a lot of sense. And it's also crazy because we've had people show up that we've known for almost that entire year, but also somebody who signed up last week. Yeah, like so being able to see the impact of such a short amount of time, we've got 2 weeks, 3 weeks, hey, you've completely changed my life. But then also somebody that has been with us for 9-10 months at a time, still seeing the value and still seeing like there's so much more than just I created a good offer.
Yeah.
Like the not only the impact that the community has had on people, but I think people are really starting to realize what's possible. Not financially, but with life.
Yeah.
Which is now going to a very cliche statement, but it's bigger than everyone. It's bigger than one person. It's bigger than us. Lives have completely been changed, and we get to see that in real time. And I think it's really special.
It's really remarkable just to see, like, I wrote in my journal that I was like, what are my biggest takeaways? And the first thing I wrote was like community over everything. You know, because if you're not around other people who are doing what you want to do, it's very difficult to conceptualize it and like see how it could work, right? Or you see them on the internet and you think, oh, well, they probably have some innate skill that I don't, right? They have something that I do not have. And then I think people were able to come here and connect. And even people who, you know, are crushing it, right? People saw them and they were like, they're a real person. Like, if they can do it, so can I. Yeah. And, you know, it doesn't even necessarily have to be like make a ton of money. It's like make the same amount of money and have way more time freedom. You know, to be able to spend with your family and still do a really good service and help people all over the country, you know. And I think because it's so much different than what people are used to, they almost think it's too good to be true. Because they imagine what their life would be like if it was true. And they're like, no, like that great thing can't happen to me.
Yeah.
You know,
there's no way it's that easy.
Yeah.
So they think.
Yeah. They're like, there's no way because I've worked so hard to do this thing. But it's like, you know, imagine if, you know, like when the wheel was invented, people were like, what is that thing? Right? And they're going on square wheels, like almost impossible to let the thing go, right? But then you create the wheel and it makes everything so much easier, so much more efficient. So, yeah. I think people are really just opening up their mind to what's possible. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be a ton of money. It could just be really creating the life that they want, not the life that they were told they should do,
right,
or the life that they were told that is possible.
I think that's one of the biggest things that we might not talk about enough.
What do you mean?
The life that they're told to live. Parents. Yeah. The way they grew up, that's what we hear all the time. It's the way that I grew up. I was raised with this perception about money. I was raised with this work ethic. I need to be working 24/7 to provide value. I need to do this based on whatever limiting belief they might have. But it's because somebody told them.
Yeah.
And so many times we have tried to get people to understand, like, you can do whatever you want to do.
Yep.
You genuinely can. And I think being here in person was what opened up their mind to that, to where they believed it.
Yeah.
They, as you said, they see other people doing it. But the minute that they get in person and you have people with hundreds of thousands of followers having the same issues, you have people making insane amounts of money having the same issues as somebody with 2,000 followers. But also somebody with 2,000 followers is making a lot of money right now. So every bits and pieces you get to see, okay, we're all human, but all these different circumstances we have created. And
Yeah.
I can now do whatever I want to do and create the life that I want to live as long as I take action.
Absolutely. I mean, like how I put on this event. I was like, I want to do an event. All right, everyone. I'm hosting an in-person event soon. Who's in? Got like 2 people to respond. I was like, well, this could flop. Maybe I'm not going to do it. I don't know. Like, you know, all the doubt starts creeping in because I'm like, oh, like, what if this thing fails? Then I'm going to look stupid. But then I'm going to look stupid if I cancel it. And so I was like, no, I'm gonna promote it again. And I promoted it again, and a couple more people reach out. And I'm like, oh, this thing might actually happen. And people are like messaging me like, hey, what are the details on the in-person event? I was like, honestly, I have no idea, but it's going to happen. I'm like, it's going to happen because I truly believe that everything happens twice, right? First you see it in your mind, then you see it in front of you. And then all of a sudden, like, I had a date locked in. I was like, okay, I have like 3 weeks to figure this thing out. Had absolutely nothing planned until like 2 weeks before. And then somehow pulled it off, and people seemed to have a good time. It was insane. And I think that just goes to show, like, if you do what you say you're going to do and you speak it out into the world, it'll hold you accountable to doing the things, even when it's really, really scary, right? Because before this, I was freaking out. Oh my God, I'm going to have 20 people in my house. I've never met any of these people before. What happens if they don't have a good time? You know, like, I have all these same thoughts too, but instead of listening to them and making me run from it, I understand that, like, if I can act anyway, I will become a better version of myself after I've done those things. You know what I mean? And it's just like you talk about with content, like, try and then ask. Like, do stuff. Take action. Do the uncomfortable thing. Because the thing that you're the most afraid of is the thing that you need to do most. Like, every single, like, when we go around the room and we're like, what's your biggest bottleneck? It's always something that they're afraid of. It's a mindset thing. Always, 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 always. So, I don't know, dude. What was your favorite dinner?
What?
What was your favorite dinner we had?
Oh, favorite? Oh, dude. 100% Fogo de Chao, the Brazilian steakhouse.
Dude, you didn't like Ocean 44 better?
I loved Ocean 44 because it was an experience that I've never had before. But if we're talking strictly food, I did enjoy the Brazilian steakhouse more. So I guess it depends on your question, experience or actual food.
I mean, the first thing you said was Fogo de Chao, so we'll stick with that. Nah. It's cool that you said you've never had an experience like that at Ocean 44. Mm-hmm. That was dope.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that even if, you know, I want to take my fiance out, that's not our personality. It's just not. Her favorite restaurant is Chili's. So if you give me the option of Ocean 44 and Chili's is her favorite, we're going to Chili's. Yeah. So
you're going to compromise and go to Chili's.
So being able to be in an environment and around other individuals who are more successful, not only just in our group, right? But just that restaurant, like, there's a certain level of people that are in those restaurants that are way more successful than us, and you can tell. So that's why it's something, because I never would have gone there. No matter the amount of money that I make, I'm not going there by choice.
That's crazy.
But once again, it's because of our lifestyle.
No.
It just is what it is. I don't think that's a good or a bad thing, but because you wanted to treat everyone to a different experience, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. You know what I thought to myself? I thought, how can I blow these people's minds? Like, how can I just shower them with value and hospitality and information and attention to detail? And how can I make it to where these people come here? They're like, I cannot believe that kid pulled that off. That was my goal. I wanted people to be mind blown. And that's why I went all out. That's the only way to go.
I also think that there's no doubt that their minds were blown. Also, because I know the way that everyone was so uncomfortable when we first got there because they felt like they were in the wrong place. Yeah. You could see it. The posture was just, they didn't know how to act because it was a brand new experience.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing too is they realized how much everyone cares, including you, because whatever the dollar amount was for dinner didn't matter. And for most businesses, companies, communities, it typically would. And I'm not saying this to flex or anything. Yeah. I'm saying that it was a true realization that I believe a lot of people had, that they saw that you didn't care what it was. It was the fact that you were doing it for them.
Yeah.
It could have been a regular price dinner. It could have been the most expensive dinner you've ever bought. But it was the fact that it was for them that I think was one of the most impactful pieces of the entire night.
Yeah. That was the whole goal. You know, like, this event wasn't for us. It was for them. You know?
If I wanted to come out to Arizona, I would have. Like, we can hang out anytime. But being able to see everyone in person and the way that their lives are changing in front of them, and in 10 years it is a different path in life. They will physically be in a different place simply because they joined.
Yeah. And for anybody that's watching, that's in the community and didn't come, what are you doing? What are you doing?
So listen, we have a second in-person event coming.
I really want to host these all the time because, like, community over everything. I don't want people to come into the program, expect to only work with us for like 90 days or something like that, and then bounce. Like, think about it. If you work with a hitting coach for 3 months and another guy works with that hitting coach for 3 years, who's going to get better results?
3 years, 100% of the time.
Exactly. But I really want to attract people who want to be a part of something bigger, and who want to be a part of something long term, because it's the best for everyone. We don't have to constantly go get new people. We can build really deep relationships with the people that we already work with, and they're going to get the best results. Because people need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. And the first 90 days they're taught, but then after that they are reminded over and over and over again to hold them accountable to the things that we've taught them. So
that is the one thing that I've never truly understood, of like, you're not gonna retire in 90 days. I'm not sure where the long-term expectation goes away, but if you truly want to make a difference, not only in your life but your athletes' lives, I mean, you plan to do it for a long time. Not 90 days.
Yeah. I think if there's anything worth pursuing, you should be trying to pursue it for the long run. Because if you don't, you'll never get through you'll never get through the hard part. The hard part is typically the first, 90, 120, 180 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hardest part. And then once you're past that, you have a lot more clarity. You have a lot more experience. No matter, we tell people exactly what to do. Exactly what to do. Like word for word, step by step. I can put everything on it. But people need to be reminded over and over and over and over and over again, and just continually shown like, hey, like, you're capable of more, and I really think it's our job to believe in our clients more than they believe in themselves, and expect more from them than they expect from themselves, and show them like, you shouldn't settle for normal. You shouldn't settle for average. You should be trying to change as many lives as possible. You should be trying to make as much money as possible if you're doing a good job. Because then you can hire other people, give them opportunities, help change their lives. Like, why would you not do that?
It almost feels like a moral obligation too.
Yeah. It is a moral obligation, if you are good at what you do, to make as much money as you possibly can, because the more money you make, the more you can share it, right? Like being able to drop a bag on dinner all 3 nights, like it's not about the money, dude. It's just the fact that like we can share those experiences with people and show them like, hey, like, we appreciate you. And like, we're sitting on my balcony right now with a super nice camera setup. That shit wasn't cheap. So it's like, we wouldn't be able to do any of this without, the people who trust us, and the people who are willing to, especially the people who are willing to come out here and just like shake our hand, I think that's cool. So what else you got, bro? Favorite moment?
Favorite moment from the entire experience? It's a good question. I would say day one of the downtime that we had in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Because that's when everything kind of clicked. Of like, oh, this is special. Everyone's finally interacting. Like, everyone's really coming together. And we saw, for the first time in front of our eyes, the community. Not through a screen, not through text, in front of our eyes. And as you said, you sat back, like, you could watch everything unfold. It's like, the people that are here are special. And as we continue to grow, and when we do this next in-person event, not only is it going to be bigger and better, I know that the people watching this video are going to wish that they were here. So that's going to be a little subtle plug to come to the next one, because this was our first time doing it. It didn't feel like you only planned it in 2 weeks.
Dude, 2 days.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it. So imagine what we can only do with true preparation.
Yeah.
So I know we said we wanted to keep this video for 10 minutes, but it's really hard to recap a 3-day event in under 10 minutes. So I'm just excited for the future, honestly. There's no doubt that we're impacting lives, changing lives, but people see what's possible, and this community is going to grow to something really, really special.
Yeah. I love it. I love what I do. I say this all the time. I love what I do. I love my team. I love my clients. And I really think it is our mission to, help as many sports coaches achieve time and financial freedom, and help as many athletes along the way. Just make the world a better place. And we've just chosen to do it through remote training. So come to the next event.